aggressor. Okay, so I know it's been a month and 5 days since my last episode. It's been a while. Probably my longest gap between episodes. And I wasn't sure what to do for. I knew I wanted to do an episode tonight. I just didn't know what topic. So I was actually messaging some friends like, "Hey, what should I talk about?" And couldn't decide on anything. So I figured I'd just do an update episode. I don't know how long this is gonna be. This might be a mini-sode, this might be an episode. We'll see. There has been a lot that's happened. I'm trying to get back to regular uploads. I don't know when that'll happen or if it's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna happen right now. I said in the last episode when Emery and I did an episode together. It was the social media one, cancel culture. We did that on July 7th, and today is August 12th. Yeah. I said in that episode that, oh yeah, things will settle down. Things are still crazy right now, but things will settle down in the next couple weeks. Yeah, they haven't. They've actually gotten a little crazier. Basically, pretty much every day I have an appointment of some sort. So I don't really have much time for anything. In fact, I have my Switch right here next to me. I've touched it 3 times in the last month. I don't have much time to do anything. I stopped bringing it to bed because I would take it upstairs. I'm recording this in the bed. Because it's the only place that's not near anybody. It's like secluded up here. I like it, but anyway, I would bring it up like the first month. I would bring it up to bed with me because I'm thinking I'm going to play while I lay down, and then I would be out. Like by the time the Animal Crossing screen would be up, I would be out. So I stopped bringing it up with me. But now I'm back to not sleeping well, so I'm listening. I actually, for the longest time, I stopped listening to podcasts, not because I didn't want to, but I didn't have time. I'd fall asleep too quickly, and I would normally listen to them at night, sometimes to help me sleep. And when I finally started listening to podcasts again, it was Anxious and Afraid. That's one of my favorite podcasts, and if you've heard them, if you haven't heard them, I highly recommend them. They're a great podcast. But if you've heard them, they always start with they start recording mid-conversation. They're talking, the introduction is like they're just talking about something, and then the theme music will come on, and then they start the episode. Well, I would fall asleep before the theme music, but luckily my insomnia kicked back in, and now I lay there for an hour or two before I fall asleep. So now I can listen to podcasts and play my Switch, which I know that's not the ideal situation. I was, the way it was, where I would fall asleep really quickly, that's what we want. But that didn't last because it's me. Of course it didn't last. But, yeah. Why did I bring that up? I don't know why. I was leading to something. Oh, yeah. Because I got my Switch here and I don't have time to play it. I did download a new game. Actually, what's funny is a friend of mine here in San Francisco, she and I were texting earlier, and she told me about a new game that just came out recently. That's a free one called Children of Light. And we were texting, and she said, "Hey, you should download this game on the Switch." No, she said you should download this game. It's free. I didn't know she meant Switch. We were texting. It's on my phone. So I looked it up on Google Play, and there it is. I downloaded it. And I got a call, and the app crashed, and then when I opened it back up, it started me back at the very beginning. And so I texted her, and I said, "Hey, this happened," and she was like, "Oh, no, I meant on the Switch." I was like, "Oh, it's on Switch, cool." So I looked it up on the Switch. It said purchased. I was like, huh, that's weird. Um, yeah, and I went in my games, and apparently I got it months ago. So I've had it this whole time. When I went to open it, there was an update. So yeah, um, yeah, I do that a lot. I think I get all the free games, just basically to build my library. And then sometimes I'll buy a game and I won't play it. So like, I think I haven't played like half the games I own, which is kind of weird. Like, why buy the games or get them if you're not even going to play them? I think it's more fun buying games than actually playing them. I barely play any of my games, but no, I did play that a little bit today. It was actually what's great is I didn't know she was describing the game to me, and I said that sounds like the game Journey, and she was like, I don't think I've heard of that. And I was like, oh, that's really good. And I was describing her the game Journey, and she said, oh, that does kind of sound like it. So when I went to start the game, it said that game company. I'm like, oh, that's why it sounded like Journey. It's the same game company. Which game company? That game company. Yeah, it's a great game. It's a yeah. It's a blah blah blah. It's a great game company. I like their games, except their first one, Flow. I couldn't get into that. I didn't understand it. It's not that it was a bad game. I just didn't understand it. On PS3, I owned a. It's called the Journey Collection. It was all three of their games at the time. It was Flow, Flower, and Journey. Flower is one of my favorite games. It's amazing. It's hard to explain. You basically play the wind, and yeah, it's you don't use buttons. You use the motion controller. I think it's called 6-axis in the PS3 controller, the PS4 controller too, because it's on PS4. But anyway, I definitely digress because that's the name of the show. Haha. Anyway, but I digress. So I don't have a lot of time for stuff, and I technically still don't have a job. I say technically because I did get hired somewhere. It's a temporary job. And, I had a meeting, a Microsoft Teams meeting last week. It was like a group interview. It wasn't really an interview. It was more like, you're all hired. But, like, I didn't think my side went very well because I was like, oh, the thing that we need to do, my laptop probably can't do. And they're like, oh, well then. So I assumed I couldn't do it. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't get hired. But then I got an email basically saying, oh, yeah, you're hired. This is the information. And I was like, oh, okay then. They had me fill out an IT form with all the information on my laptop. And I think my laptop's in the clear, so I think I will be able to do it. Basically, I now, at least for the next couple weeks, work for Ubisoft. If you've been listening to this show for a while, which no one's listening, so yeah. Anyway, so I did an episode about Ubisoft, and I said they're my favorite game company of all time, and I'll literally buy games just because they're Ubisoft. Like, I bought the Uno game and like Monopoly and all of those types of games just because of Ubisoft. Like, I never actually played them, but I played the Uno one because it's Uno. I like Uno, and I thought it was interesting. I was like, oh, how is this going to work? Oh, it works really well actually. But I literally only bought it because it's Ubisoft, and so like I'm a huge fan of Ubisoft. I wanted to work there. I knew they had an office here that I was really wanting to get in. Like, I was even saying, like, even if it's like a janitor or something, I don't care. I just want to work at Ubisoft. And so like there's an app called Indeed where you can apply for stuff, apply at jobs, and there was a thing at Ubisoft, and Okay, so yesterday I signed an NDA, so like I can't. Okay, so there's things I can't say, obviously. Uh, but like I've kind of expanded. It didn't say that I couldn't say what I'm doing, but I just to be safe, I'm not going to say what I'm doing. It said the embargo was August 31st at midnight. So like September 1st, we can talk about it. So like if I remember, I'll I'll do an episode and be like, oh yeah, this is what I did for Ubisoft. But because like it's only a temporary job. Like I don't like it's not like a permanent position, but it's still exciting. um, yeah, what's funny is before I knew about the NDA, I didn't know there was going to be one, and I told a bunch of my friends like, oh, this is what I'm doing, and then I got the NDA, and it's like, don't talk about this. It's like, oh. I sent a bunch of people a GIF of the Men in Black, the Neuralizer. Yeah, I was like, they're like, oh, don't worry, we're not gonna say anything. So, uh, but yeah, like but since it is a temporary job, I'm still looking. Yeah, hopefully it leads to like a permanent position there, but it's not the type of position that is permanent. So, trying to think what else. I'm really liking it here. Like, it's funny is I have a lot of friends like in Texas and Ohio still, and like I've video chatted with a bunch of them, and they've said like you look noticeably happier since moving to San Francisco. I don't know. I've cried less. I think I've only cried like 4 times. Which was like I've been here like a month and a half, 2 months ish, maybe. I don't know. No, June 29th, it's the 12th of August, a month and a half ish. I don't know, maybe. I would usually cry at least 4 times a week in Ohio. Sometimes to sleep. Like that's the only way to get to sleep. Yeah, I have a dark sense of humor. It's like, yay, trauma. Yeah, I know that's pretty messed up. But anyway, it's definitely different here. It's like a completely different country. There's like moving from Texas to Ohio. It wasn't a lot different. There was difference obviously, but it was similar enough that it's like I didn't have to like relearn a bunch of stuff. It's pretty much the same type of thing. And but moving to San Francisco, it's like I'm having to relearn everything because it's like, wait, you can do that here? Well, you can't do that here. They do this here. That's totally different. Um, like what's funny is like before I said it, I thought of a bunch of examples, but now that I said it, I can't think of anything. But it is completely different. I have started to go out on my own. For like the first month or so, I was basically like, because I'm very socially awkward, and I don't like crowds. So why did I move to a major city? I like the city. I honestly I didn't consider that there was a lot of people here. I'm just like, oh, I love the city, yay! And, and then I get here, I'm like, oh, there's 4.7 million people here. That's a lot more people than were in Cincinnati, which there was like 400,000 people in Cincinnati, I think, give or take, maybe, I don't know. And so like the first month or so, I only went out with Emery. Like if like we went somewhere, I went with them, and we basically went everywhere together. And but then like a couple weeks ago, after church one Sunday, a couple weeks ago, I went after service. I Instead of going home with them, I went to AMC Theater and watched Space Jam, and it was like my first time actually like going out and exploring the city on my own, and it was actually really exciting. And my phone kind of the battery was low when I got there, so I never put it on battery saver mode because it screws up all the things on the phone. I don't like using it. But I was going to need it to get home. So I put it, before the movie started, it was at 30%, so I put it on battery saver. And I forgot to take it off because I never have it on. I didn't think to. And then when I left the theater, I went to go use the transit app to figure out like which bus to take and all that, and like where to walk. But like the map wasn't updating, and I started freaking out. Like, I don't know where I am. Like I walked like 2 blocks, and the map wasn't updating, and so I called Emery, and I was like, I don't know where I am. And then so like they were trying to like asking me like, where are you at? What are your surroundings? And I was telling them, and they're like, oh, I think you're here. And I was like, wait, oh, battery saver. And then I turned it off, and I turned my location back on, and like the map snapped into, like the little blue dot like snapped where I was, and I was like, oh, I am heading the right way. Yay! I don't have to turn around and retrace my steps. So I got lost temporarily, but only because of the battery saver mode. So now I'm gonna have to get a portable battery charger thing. Emery has one, but I don't want to use theirs. They said I can, but I'll need it at some point. I mean, I'll use it until I get my own, but yeah. But yeah, I've actually kind of went out and did stuff on my own a few times since. It's actually really exciting. I like the city. Actually, it was funny. Is yesterday I had an appointment at the hospital, and I had to go to Chinatown for something, and I was gonna take the bus. But then I looked on the Google Maps to see how far it was. It said 27-minute walk. And I was like, oh, that's not too bad. I'll just walk. That's not that big a deal. I left the hospital at 10 o'clock. I actually I sent somebody a message on Facebook as I was leaving. It was at 10:07 when I left the hospital. I will say it was UCSF. And it was the one on Berry Street. And I got to Chinatown at 12:27. Two hours and 20 minutes later, I think, yeah, ish, around then. It's like I sent somebody a message, like, because on Stockton Street there's this tunnel, and when you come out the other side, you're in Chinatown. And when I came out the other side, I sent somebody a message, and I was like, this is when I started, and this is when I ended. And I literally said, 27 minutes, my foot. I took a bus home after I did the thing I was there to do. And I was like, I am not walking home. That was a lot further walk home because, yeah, by then I was worn out. I did get 15,000 steps in on my Fitbit, so that was like the most I've walked since I've been here, and it was exciting. I got to see more of the city. Not the way I wanted to see it, but I saw it. I walked through downtown. I was like, am I in the right area? I also passed, if you follow me on TikTok, you'll probably see a video I did yesterday. I posted it was like a 7-second video. I passed the Ubisoft office. It's like, what are the odds? I was like in the video, I'm like, oh, I'm just walking down the streets of San Francisco. I turned the camera. Oh, look, Ubisoft. Yeah. I got excited. I even took a picture. But, there's a lot of updates, but like some of it I don't want to talk about everything because some of it's boring. Some of it's not, but I don't want to talk about everything. There are things I do want to talk about that's completely unrelated to my personal updates. Disney announced today, I think it was today, I heard about it today, they will be, and they announced a while back that they'll be doing a new Home Alone movie. I thought it was going to be a reboot, but apparently it's a sequel-ish. It's called Home Sweet Home Alone, which I don't really care for the name. I just assumed it was going to be called Home Alone. And I thought that what I assumed the plot was going to be was, Macaulay Culkin reprising his role as Kevin McAllister as an adult, and his kid gets left home alone. That would be a great movie. I would love to see that. That's what I thought the movie was going to be. But no, it's a whole new cast of characters. This random kid named Max gets left home while his family goes to Japan without him. And a married couple tries to break in to buy to steal a jewel. And hijinks ensue. And it just kind of sounds like the other sequels. Except not. Kind of. It kind of goes back to the original. Because I did watch all of the... Like, this past Christmas, I actually watched all of the Home Alone movies. Because I have no life. Well, I had no life, and I still kind of don't. I'm reforming a life. Anyway, I watched all the Home Alone movies this past Christmas. And Home Alone 1, he gets left home alone while his family goes to Paris. Home Alone 2, he goes to New York while his family goes to Florida. Home Alone 3 is when it starts to get messed up. He gets left home alone while his family are at school and work. In Home Alone 4, it's supposed to be Kevin McAllister again, but it's like a new Kevin McAllister. He doesn't actually get left home alone. He, like, it's kind of weird. Like, he's home alone for like an hour, and then stuff happens. And then in the Home Alone 5, it's a brother and sister, and they're, again, not left home alone. Their parents just go to work, and then stuff happens. So, like, they're not really, like, home alone in the sense of, like, the first one. It's like Home Alone 3, 4, and 5. They're not really home alone. I mean, they're alone for a little bit, but they're not really home alone. So in this one, at least, the family's going to be in Japan. So, home alone. The saving grace of it is that, like, a lot of the people involved are Saturday Night Live people. Like, Chris Parnell's going to be in it. Mikey Day he's going to be in it, and he wrote it. And I don't remember who else was in it, but I liked some of the cast and the people involved. Like, it had a lot of the SNL people, which was great. I love that. Okay, so say what you will about SNL people, but I love when, I like a lot. Oh, Kenan Thompson, he's going to be in it. I got it pulled up. Chris Parnell, I said that. Mikey Day. And the saving grace of it, other than that, is at the bottom of the cast, it says, additionally, Macaulay Culkin will make a cameo appearance reprising his role as Kevin McAllister from the first two films. That's all it says. I haven't checked Macaulay Culkin's Wikipedia page, and under filmography, it does say 2021 Home Sweet Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin. It's a cameo, so that could really mean anything. Like, is it like a walk-on cameo? Like, oh, look, there's Kevin McAllister. And he's like, oh, that's me, and then walks away. Or is it like he gets a scene? I don't know. So, like, that's why I was kind of confused. Like, is it a sequel? Is it a reboot? I mean, if he's reprising his role, it's not really a reboot because it's Kevin McAllister as an adult. So, like, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We don't know anything about it except what I just said and, like, the cast. I don't know the name of the kid playing Max. His name is Archie Yates, and he has a Wikipedia, but he hasn't really been in anything. He's been in one thing, Jojo Rabbit, as Yorkie. I don't know what that is. I'm looking. It's a comedy drama It came out a couple years ago. It's about a 10-year-old Hitler Youth member who finds out that his mother, Scarlett Johansson, is hiding a Jewish girl in their attic. He must then question his beliefs while dealing with the intervention of his imaginary friend, a fanciful version of Adolf Hitler, with a comedic stance on the politics of the war. Huh. That, with a name like Jojo Rabbit, and he's a little kid, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be some little kid film. But that is not a little kid topic. I'm actually intrigued. I want to see this. Is it streaming anywhere? I'm opening Yidio. Okay, let's see. Jojo Rabbit. Let's see if it's streaming anywhere. Disney Plus. I'm kidding. Hulu with Cinemax. Prime Video with Cinemax. Roku channel with Cinemax. And Apple TV Plus with Cinemax. So basically, no matter where you watch it, you've got to have the Cinemax add-on. And I don't want to do that. So I guess I'm not going to see it. Even though I want to see it. Alright, let's see. Who else is in it? No, that's wrong. Okay. Rob Delaney. Delaney? I think that I know that name. Says he was minor roles in Deadpool 2 and Fast and Furious and Hobbs and Shaw. His face looks familiar. Wait, he has a Twitter section on Wikipedia. Delaney first came to the attention of the public via Twitter, on which he started posting in 2009. By 2016, Delaney had over 1.2 million followers. While other comics were hesitant to share their material on social media, Delaney is considered one of the first comedians to use social media to publish jokes. Delaney credits comedy writer and director Graham Linham. Oh, I feel like I should know who that is. An Irish anti-transgender activist. Wait, anti-transgender activist? He created Father Ted. I like Father Ted. Wait, an IT crowd? Wait. I don't know what... Wait, what is... Okay, let's see. Anti-transgender activism. Extremely... He has extensively commented on transgender issues. Until his suspension in 2020, he used the social network Twitter to criticize trans ideology, which he believes misrepresents transgender people and lesbians. He became involved after the airing of the 2008 episode of The IT Crowd, written by Linham, drew criticism on Twitter for its storyline. In 2008? Was Twitter around then? I don't know when Twitter came about. Hey Google. When was Twitter launched?
March 21st, 2006, San Francisco, California.
Oh, it's older than I thought. I'm still not entirely... Wait, hey Google. What does anti-transgender activist mean?
These are the top results.
Okay, because I know it probably sounds self-explanatory, but that does that mean he's anti-transgender and he's like an activist against transgender people, or like he's an activist against I don't know. I guess do we not like this person? Keep scrolling. Wait, it says in June 2020 he criticized comments made about J.K. Rowling after she made comments that were contrary to Islamic. He linked to a blog post featuring screenshots of abuse Rowling had received, describing those who wrote them as ignoring the abuse received. Oh, so he's against trans people. So we don't like him. All right, okay. I forgot how I got onto that. Wait, let's see. There's him. I go back. Rob Delaney and Home Alone. Oh, so he's gonna be in that, and he's in support of somebody who doesn't like trans paper. Trans paper. Yes, Ellie Kemper. I know that name too. Is she anti-trans? American actress. It said it lists her office. Oh, she was Erin on The Office. I thought I recognized that name. She was in Bridesmaids and 21 Jump Street, neither of which I've seen, which I know I should. Everyone's like, have you seen Bridesmaid? I get asked that all the time. Seriously. I don't know why people ask me. I should see that. Like, people, like, they'll look at me and be like, have you seen Bridesmaid? And I'm like, why? No, I haven't. And they're like, well, you probably should. Like, do I look like a character or something? Let's see. Bridesmaids. Let's see if it's streaming anywhere. 2011. It's a 10-year-old movie. It's not streaming anywhere. I can't believe it's been 10 years already. I mean, granted, I haven't seen it. I don't really have any experience other than if people ask me if I've seen it. Do I look like a character from the movie? I don't know. Why you people keep asking me this? Unfortunately, it's not streaming anywhere, so I can't. I'm supposed to be talking about updates. Okay, so podcast updates. Considering that the show is called The Digressor, this is probably the most I've digressed in an episode. So there's that. Anyway, podcast updates. I will try to start regularly posting an episode. I do have an idea for what my next episode was going to be, a mini-sode, and I knew what the topic was. I even said in my last episode with Amory, I said, I know what the next one's going to be. It's a mini-sode. I'll tell you about it later. And then I never ended up making it, but I will make that. There's a reason I haven't made it yet, and I will get to that. I will talk about that when I make the episode. Mini-sode. I will talk about it. As for the other podcasts, there was Fig Tree Reborn, which Emery and I were going to do together. We're still planning on doing it, but neither of us can do that right now. So Fig Tree Reborn is on a temporary hiatus officially. We actually talked about it like a week ago, and I just forgot to post about it. But like neither of us have time for that. I mean, it took me over a month to do an episode on my main podcast. I don't have time to do 2 podcasts. And so Fig Tree is on hold for now, but we will get to that one eventually. As for this one, I will try to, no promises. When I lived in Ohio, so like part of the problem, as weird as it sounds, is I don't have a job right now. Which, as weird as that sounds, you're probably thinking, well, you should have plenty of time. Actually, no, because I don't have a schedule. I never know what I'm going to be doing. Some nights, I'm really busy doing a lot of stuff, because I don't have a job. I'm looking for one, and I have other appointments, so I'm constantly doing something. I don't have a lot of time to do a whole lot of other things. I don't have time to plan out a podcast episode and then do all the editing and everything. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll have time to do this one tonight. I might post it tomorrow. I don't know. It is currently, I don't even know. I said it already. That's how I don't remember anything. Thursday, August 12th at 8:21 p.m. So, if I'm posting this tonight, I had time. If I post this tomorrow or next week or next month, I hope not. But anyway, when I lived in Ohio, because I had a job and had a schedule, I had a routine, I could plan to do it once a week. I knew basically what was, what's going to happen week to week. Nothing ever changed. And that actually was kind of the problem in Ohio, is every day was the same, every week was the same. It was becoming mundane. It's not like every day was the same, but like it's that nothing ever happened. It was boring and it was miserable, and that's kind of why I came here. Like, if once I get a job and have a routine, I can kind of know what's gonna happen week to week, generally, barring unforeseen circumstances, and kind of plan out, when am I going to do the next episode? What's it going to be about? Let's do an outline. But for now, like I was watching an episode of Monk, and halfway through I was like, okay, when this episode's over, I'm going to take my laptop upstairs and do a mini-sode. I don't even know what it's going to be about. And so I spent like 10 minutes messaging friends like, hey, what should I do an episode about? And they were like, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? I was like, I don't know. That's literally why I asked you. And that's why I talked about an update. And it kind of turned into whatever this was. It was mostly not an update. Oh, it's at 36 minutes. It's officially a full episode, so it's not a mini-sode. That was somebody messaging me on Facebook. I don't know if it picked that up. Let's see. Yep, somebody responded to me. It's too late. I can't talk about that now because I've already done an episode. Somebody I messaged that hadn't responded before just gave me a great idea for an episode. Too little, too late. But I appreciate it. I will write that on my list of potential topics to talk about on a future episode. As for now, I will actually, let's see. Okay, my Switch is here. Okay, so that's a good thing I have this open. This is how little time I have. I was so excited about Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. I think I might even mentioned it in an episode. I was thrilled. I mean, it wasn't my favorite game. I played and beat it on the Wii. And, it's a great game. I love it. It wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't, it's a good game. I love it. It's fun. And, the fact that they're re-releasing it, I was so excited. I pre-ordered it, and I got it the day it came out. And it took me like a week or two to finally open it and play it. I played it past the introduction when they finally get down to the surface and can run around. And I haven't touched it since. That's how little time I had. I was so excited for this game, and I've barely touched it. I played it once, and literally just to get past the introduction, because I remember from when I played it the first time, that was so long. I hated that part. I was dreading that, and so I made sure to set time aside just to get past that, so when I do get onto it next, I don't have to worry about that. I can just jump on in. Whenever I ever get a chance to finally play it. Who knew that not having a job would be more time-consuming than having a job? Somebody messaged me on Facebook. Yeah. Once I have more of a routine and a schedule, I will be able to do more things like gaming on my Switch and doing a podcast. But right now, I from day to day, I have no idea what I'm going to do, other than I have a bunch of appointments. In fact, looking at my Google Calendar, I have an appointment every single day this week and every single day next week. And some days, I have 2 or 3 appointments. So, yeah. So, needless to say, kind of a health update. The healthcare system in California is much, much better than the healthcare system in Ohio. I thought Ohio was pretty good. I never had any complaints about the Ohio one, except for the Bethesda North Hospital, which I mentioned in the My Health episode. I do not like that hospital, but they were my only one I complained about. But now, obviously not going to go into a lot of detail, but when I first got here, and I got the Medi-Cal, and I got all the insurance and everything, I set up an appointment, and they drew 18 vials of blood. I was worn out. Emery had to guide me home because I was too worn out. It's kind of dramatic. I was I barely remember that trip home. I think Emery was with me. I hope I didn't imagine them. Was I that worn out? I don't actually. Now that I think of, no, they weren't with me because I sent them a picture of all the vials, and they were like, "That's excessive," and I was like, "I know." So who was with me? Oh, that is kind of scary. That's how out of it I was. I imagined Emery with me. Oh wait, no. Their mom came to pick me up. That's who was with me. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, yeah, because I sent the vial. I sent the picture of the vials, and Emery was like, "You okay?" I said, "I don't know," and I was worn out, and so they sent their mom to come pick me up, so I didn't have to take the bus home. That makes more sense. I had to think about it for a minute, but anyway. Again, if you listen to my episode titled "My Health," you know I've been going to the hospital every 3 weeks since 2015 for the last 6 years. So I do chemo every 3 weeks. And they draw my blood. They draw 4 vials every time I was there. And they never said, they never picked up anything. It was always, everything's fine, except for, the reason you're doing chemo. It's you're fine, except, And so they do the 18 vials, and they say they just do, standard tests. It's, kind of like a, whatever, test for everything. And they're they give me a call. They're you're going to need to come in. And they were literally shocked that Ohio didn't find all the stuff they found. And they were like, this isn't we didn't specifically go out of our way to look. These things just kind of popped up on the results. And I was like, oh, so Ohio somehow missed this. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how. These are obvious things. And I was like, oh, that's, I lost count how many meds I'm on now. I think 8. And I have an app called Walmart Wellness. It used to be called Care Zone, but then I guess Walmart bought them, and then now it's. I don't like that it has Walmart's logo on it, but it's still the same app, and it's amazing. It basically, I highly recommend this for people that are on medication. It's kind of like an organization. It's kind of like a pill organizer, which I do have now, by the way. But it's an app form. You basically take a picture of the label, and it puts all the information on there for you, and so you have all your meds on an app, and you can put there's some that I take in the morning, some I take at night, some I take both, and you can put all the reminders on it, and it'll remind you. You can put the reminder, I take the morning ones at 10 and the evening ones at 9, and I put that on there. But then it reminds you, hey, it's 10 o'clock. Have you taken your pills? You put take all, and it marks it off. So cause me, I get forgetful. I'll be like, oh crap, did I take the pills today? And I check the app. Oh yes, I have. and it's funny, cool is because I'm a gamer, and I've become accustomed to achievements and trophies and games like Xbox and PlayStation. There's trophies and there's achievements on this app. Today I did a 20-day streak, and actually yesterday was 19, and in half an hour, because it's 8:31, I'll take the 9 o'clock one, and it'll be a 20-day streak. I'll check. There's a trophy for that, an achievement for that. There's a 10-day streak, and I did that. Because if you miss one, it kind of penalizes you if you miss a dose. But they kind of turn it into a game, which is interesting. And it's like, oh, you missed one, streak starts over, which kind of sucks though, because like, what if you? Because this did happen to me once. When I started, because I had the app long ago, because I was on high blood pressure medication years ago. That's how I knew it was called CareZone. I went looking for it, and I was like, oh wait, I can't find it. Oh, it's Walmart now. Weird. And so, like I took the medication, but I forgot to put it on the app. And so, like, it said, "Oh, you missed the dose, so streak over." Like, no, I did take it. I just forgot to tell the app. But yeah, now I open because now I check my blood pressure, and so I put everything on this app. The medication, my blood pressure results, pulse, all of that. I put all that on here. And what's cool is like I'll show the doctors like, hey, here's how my blood pressure's been when I'm at home, because I do it every night. It's like a good record. And they're like, oh, it's kind of high. I'm like, yes, it is. Like I will actually say what my blood pressure was yesterday. My sister's a nurse, so like I tell her everything. Like she's like my personal nurse. Like I message her all the time. Like, hey, is this normal? And they're like, yeah, probably not. Let's see. Oh no. Wow. Okay, I talked to a lot of people. I'm scrolling to find her. What was it yesterday? Okay. 164 over 108. So a little high. It's fine. It's fine. But anyway, I have talked for 46 and a half minutes. So I think I've talked about everything. Wow! When I started talking, the room was lit up and I didn't need to turn a light on. And I was so focused on recording, I didn't even notice it's dark in here now. I guess I will turn a light on. That's usually what we do at night. Yeah, there. Now I got the light on. Oh, one small update. This I'm doing kind of an experiment with this episode. I was gonna mention it at the beginning, but I forgot. Emery bought me a new gaming headset, and I know when I first started doing my podcast, my first episode, it was actually my third attempt at doing a first episode, because the first time I did a episode, I used my phone's mic and it sounded awful. Then I used my gaming headset and it sounded worse. So then I bought my professional mic that I have now, and it was great. So that was when I did my third intro episode, and the one that's up now. It was my third attempt. And when I moved, I didn't take a lot of stuff. I didn't take my gaming headset. I basically brought a few clothes, my laptop, the mic, and my Switch, and a few things. I gave away my Xbox and PlayStation, which actually made a lot of people mad. They're like, "Why didn't you take it? If anything, why didn't you sell it?" I was like, I gave it to a couple neighbors. Like, why is that an issue? But anyway, so I have the wireless headphones, wireless earbuds, and I use those at night because it's easier to lay down and wear them. But for the actually, Emery bought me these because of the Ubisoft job, the one that they actually require. For what I'm doing, they actually require gaming headset, not because I had the Emery gave me a pair of the earbuds with the wired earbuds with a microphone on the wire, and during the Teams meeting, I was like, "Does this work?" And they're like, "Yeah, no, that's not good enough." It's like, okay. So Emery actually jumped on Amazon and bought me these because they're an amazing friend, and the reason I'm talking about that is I was curious because I didn't test out the mic, and so I before the teams meeting, before no, not the teams meeting, before there was, I had a Zoom call with my doctor, and that was the first time I really used the microphone. I was like, "Can you hear me?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, I can hear you fine." It's like, okay. So then I did like a test recording, and it actually sounded pretty decent. I was like, that's surprising. And yeah, I'm doing this episode with the gaming headset Emery bought me. And I don't know if you can tell the difference in the quality, because when I listen to it back, I listen to it on the gaming headset. So these are amazing quality. I'm shocked. Like the gaming headset I had in Ohio, it was like an $80 pair, which were like, I only bought it because like I had a friend that let me try theirs, and it was the same brand. It was like incredible. So I was like, I only paid that much because I knew it was worth it. And then these were half the price, and they sound better than those, and the mic actually works. So I'm impressed. I am definitely impressed. Enough that I just, at least for this episode, I wanted to use the gaming headset and to see how it turned out. And I'll probably because I got my regular mic. Like I was pointing and I was gonna say right over there, but you can't see it. I'm gonna. Oh no! Well, it's a good thing the gaming headset works because you know how the last episode was a month and 5 days ago? I accidentally left the microphone on, and it's dead, so I need to charge it anyway. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing this works. I'm gonna tap the microphone with my regular mic. So that mic made a cameo, like Macaulay Culkin. Anyway, so I've now been talking for 52 minutes. I tapped the mic again. I'm going to end this episode here and start the editing process and post this. I'm going to try to post this tonight. I have to take the pills in 20 minutes, so I'm actually going to go and do that before. I don't even have to mention that. Why am I mentioning that? And then I'm going to drink some water and probably eat some ice cream because I've got a Kit Kat. I've actually got it cut. I'm digressing again. I will say this. I've been eating a lot better since I moved here. One of my things was it was hard for me to slow down. I would get a gallon of ice cream and eat it in one sitting. I would there's a Kit Kat ice cream. It's like a pint, I think, or a quart, or it's like a pretty big size. It's not a gallon. It's not a half gallon. It was pretty big. But anyway, I would buy one of those and eat the whole thing in one sitting. And Amory's been helping me slow down and proportion everything and like whatever. And so I bought one of those like a week ago, and like every day or two, I'll like after I eat, like I had dinner like an hour ago. We had like rice and beef or something. It was really good, and then I'll eat like a little bit, like a little layer. I had bought it a week ago. There's still half left. So I'm getting better at slowing down. Yay. Maybe a little too slow because that's lasting a lot longer than I was thinking. And I would get the family size bag of Doritos and it'd be gone in one sitting. And I made one last 3 days a month ago, which is still kind of fast, but for me, that is a huge improvement. But anyway, I digress. I already said I'm going to end this episode right now, like 5 minutes ago. So I've been talking for 54.5 minutes. When did it stop? Oh, it didn't stop. It froze. I thought it stopped. Okay, that was weird. 50 50 something minutes. It's a long time. I'm actually going to stop the episode right now. Emery and I had a way. Okay, we said we had a way we were going to end the episodes because I was trying to find out like how am I going to end these episodes, and we found a way to end them last time. And I don't. Oh, have a good.